welcome back to the channel. If you were looking for a community that shares a plethora of news, tips, and tricks of the trade, go ahead and find our invitation link in the description. The same thing goes for Twitter, where I post recent news updates every week while I'm not engaged with YouTube. If you just want to stay up to date with the most recent market sentiment, project news, and upgrades, go ahead and hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell so you can get notified anytime I come on the net. Now, without further delay, let's get to the market sentiment. Now, what you see before you on the screen is a exchange reserve chart from Crypto Quant that is denominated in Bitcoin. So it shows what the exchange reserves are as we are moving into these lower price ranges. And I am not a chart analyst, but I do understand statistics and metrics that help me determine what the general sentiment of the market is. So what we see here is the price has been dropping along with the exchange reserves. So you can see in the purple here, the exchange reserves have been dropping, and also the price has been dropping, obviously. So what does that tell me? That lets me know that while institutional buyers over the counter may be trading, selling large amounts of Bitcoin, the retail investors are kind of staying put. They're not really selling, they're not really buying, but as you can see here, the exchange reserves continue to drop. So regardless of what people say in terms of FUD, any kind of downplay, oh, the fundamentals are bad, the market metrics say different. It says people are still buying. And the only reason why I show it in Bitcoin is because if Bitcoin's angry, the whole market is angry. Bitcoin does not like to see any other project shine unless it is moving up as well. Next chart I want to show here is the exchange outflow total across all exchanges, and the white line here, you can see that is the price of Bitcoin, and the green is the amount of coins, the amount of Bitcoin outflowing from exchanges. And as you can see here, there is nothing outside of the ordinary. It is just basic levels of volume being taken off of the exchange, which you could assume they're being put in cold wallets, personal wallets, offline storage, which typically shows a buy and hold sentiment, which corresponds with the previous chart. If there was a huge spike like the one back here in April of 2020, that would suggest a lot of decreased selling pressure. But as you can see, it is kind of just laying low in the normal volume level. So it's not really increased selling pressure, and it's not really decreased selling pressure, which a lot of people would see as a buy signal. I just see a lot of holding. And lastly, the next chart I want to show is exchange inflow. So the amount of coins flowing into the exchange. And as you can see here, still have normal volume levels, which is telling us that there is no increased selling pressure by people taking Bitcoin from their wallets, putting it on the exchange in order to sell. That's usually what you would assume when people take their coins to put them on an exchange. But as you can see here, that is not the case, and the sentiment still corresponds with the previous charts that I showed. There is no increased selling, there is no increased buying. People are still taking their coins off of the exchanges and they're holding. I know with the current price movement, the optimism has been tested tenfold. And I know a lot of people have been worrying, but to be honest, there's nothing to really worry about. With traditional finance getting into the mix, they're going to sell when it comes to the Fed making hawkish sentiment about increasing the interest rates. That is typically a risk off move for investors in the traditional space. So if we, welcome the traditional investors into the crypto space, they're going to be making traditional investor moves, which I'm not too worried about. The only thing I would be worried about is if the fundamentals of the crypto space and or Bitcoin has changed, which it has not. I know what I hold, and I'm not selling at these prices. I stand firm like the guy on Craigslist trying to sell his 1994 Suzuki Grand Vitara for $6,000. I know what I got. There has also been an abundance of good news, which I just see the sentiment of 2018, 2019 bear market when there was a ton of good news, but there were no price movements to save our lives. It just trended sideways and when it went down when it wanted to. But from the past week thus far, Matic has had its EIP 1559 upgrade, which introduces a burn feature to an already limited asset to help with congestion on the Matic network and lower fees even more. We already know that Iran is planning on using crypto for cross-border payments to circumvent the sanctions of the US. And we already know they use Bitcoin mining, so they have a ton of Bitcoin on hand, which brings more utility to the space. We also heard that Google is getting into the crypto custody realm by issuing crypto cards that can hold your Bitcoin. I just know 5 years, 10 years from now, we will be looking back at these prices and wondering, it would have been nice to get in at such a level. And that's just the reason why I'm bullish. A selected few of these assets will hold a critical role in the future of our financial system. And I will not miss out on life-changing generational wealth. I have cats to feed. Now, I am excited to announce that we have stepped out of the testing phase and into the, well, still kind of a testing phase, the beta phase of Sundayswap. Sundayswap Labs released an article saying that there would still be some congestion after the mainnet beta release. But nonetheless, I am still glad that we can put our Pavia tokens to use in all of the crypto that they offer on this highly anticipated DEX. Also, with the Pavia tokens, the Pavia project has also added liquidity as their roadmap stated. As these DEXs come online and people want things to do with their Pavia tokens that they got from the airdrop for holding land, you can now put them on Sundayswap to earn yield, being a liquidity provider. So during this market downturn, it would be really nice to get some return on your freshly minted Pavia tokens. If you guys want a tutorial on the in and outs on this DEX, let me know down in the comments and I will put one together. Next up, tying directly into the Cardano ecosystem, Pavia has announced their third and last land sale that would put them at a total of 100,000 parcels minted and distributed to the public, according to this article on their Twitter. Now, the article says that Cardano's Pavia IO has announced its final NFT land sale, which will take place in the month of February. And I looked deeper into the article and it specifically said early to mid-February. So within the next 3-4 weeks, we should see the official date pop up here soon. Or maybe within 2 weeks, we'll see the official date, but I cannot wait for it. Let me know if you plan to participate in the last land sale in the comments. And if you need any tips and tricks on how to participate, also let me know. I will get you all set. And one more thing before I hop off of the Pavia project updates. I seen this tweet on their timeline about a metaverse being powered by Cardano blockchain is set to be the next trendsetter. Now, this is an article that was wrote outside of their labs, but they decided to tweet it, tag them, and also tag Snoop Dogg. If you guys don't know, Snoop Dogg is partnered with Decentraland. And one thing that gained my interest was that all of the land that Snoop Dogg has bought in Decentraland has shot up tenfold. I mean, all of the estates that are around his area in Decentraland are expensive. And for Pavia, if Snoop Dogg or a celebrity of, the same popularity decided to go into Pavia's metaverse, our land would shoot up exponentially. So for the people who own land in Pavia, you heard it here first. I think they're definitely planning on having Snoop Dogg or another famous celebrity join the ranks of the Pavians. And if you just want to participate in Pavia and you are really excited about the project, you also heard it here first. And lastly, we have VRA. The last time I talked about VRA, I brought up the fact that China approved their patent for proof of view to be used in China, which is really big. As you guys know, China likes to do things a certain way. And if you can appeal to China's tech industry, I believe your reach can be global. As we know, there are a lot of crypto friendly places on the planet, and China is definitely dead last when it comes to hosting projects that are outside of their country in terms of crypto. So it's really good to see. But the update I wanted to talk about is Veracity partnering with Brightcove. Now, with this being able to happen, Brightcove is a video publishing platform, so they can finally put their proof of view, which they have been doing all along, to use on a larger scale. Brightcove is really big, and with people choosing to use Brightcove, they can definitely expect their engagement rates to go up because there are a lot of fans of VRA out there. Somehow they just get looked past because of the price suppression, which I'm not really too worried about. Like I said, I was very long term on this project, but it is early 2022 and they're already making big strides when it comes to their new and updated roadmap. I will post this in the comments as I usually do, so you guys can definitely follow along with your most favorite projects. Also, with this partnership, they will be getting more revenue from their click-through rate as the fraud, of course, which is their specialty in proof of view, goes down. So the money that is spent on branding is spent more efficiently and goes to the right places. And also, in light to their new and updated roadmap, they have found their way to get listed on Huobi, which is a tier 1 exchange and one of their top 4 exchanges that they are currently listed on right now, which is great for their utility. It's great for their volume. And once we get out of this price slump, I plan on seeing a lot of price movement with Veracity. I think the next step for Veracity is continued partnerships. As they have partnered with Brightcove, a very large video publishing platform, people can start to see what they're actually capable of. And unofficial, but I seen through a Twitter thread that Veracity is actually trying to partner up with Instagram to utilize their proof of view, but I'll post it on the screen. I'm not too sure about that one, but we will see in the future. So far, Veracity is very hot on their roadmap. They also made some wallet upgrades so you can utilize your wallet better. You can export a CSV file of your transactions to make tax reporting easier, which is good. I can't wait to report on their next big piece of news. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for this video. If there is anything you would like me to expand upon, please let me know down in the comments. If this is what you like, the content seems valuable to you, go ahead, share it with a friend, share it with a family member, and I will catch you guys on the next one.